Hello, my name's Bev Menkens and I've been in the Noosa area for over 30 years, about 32 years now I think, although I first came here through the junction 53 years ago on my honeymoon to Hastings Street. The junction's had a most important role to play in the development of Noosa. It was actually our shopping area for the whole of Noosa really. Even though the tourists like to go to Hastings Street and stay there and visit all the restaurants, it was the junction where we did our main shopping. It had the only grocery store, the small Oasis store at the time, but it was a wonderful store and it catered to the needs of restaurant owners. Back in the 70s, it was almost impossible to buy very rich dark chocolate that is so plentiful today. And the Oasis would have the Plaistow chocolate in so we could make our rich chocolate mousses for the diners. Over near Arch Lane's fruit store was a fabric shop. Now this catered to the dressmakers in the area, both the professional and the home-based ones, and the young people starting up their design works with fashion. And you could go in there and Shirley, who owned it, would help you with fabrics, but one of the most exciting things she did there in the late 70s, they hand crocheted bikinis, and they had a sign that said, "Get your bikini in a day." And so we would send the visitors to Hastings Street, we'd chat with them over dinner, and next day they'd go over, order their bikini, and that afternoon they'd have a string bikini to wear on the beach. It was the 70s where it was braless and everyone wore that type of costume. Well, I should say those with the good figures could wear them. What is interesting is it has come full circle these 31 years later, that about 3 weeks ago I saw an advertisement for learn to crochet your own bikini as originally made in Noosa in the 70s. And I thought, hello, we've come full circle, and how lovely to see a craft being carried on. And Bev Menkens built this cine centre. I think it was 3 cinemas at the time, which was major for this area. He also opened a coffee shop next to it called Scent of Coffee, and pinched one of my best waitresses, my convention girl, and had her run the coffee shop. And that became a well-known eating place and coffee shop for everyone in the junction. One of the last lovely little eating establishments before the makeover of the junction and the redevelopment of certain areas, because different lots of buildings were redeveloped at different times. But there had been a building on the left of Sunshine Beach Road going to Sunshine Beach there, and it had a number of spaces. And in one of those, Anita Lane and Peter Baines opened a lovely little eating establishment called Serendipity, and this was in the 80s. And Anita introduced us all to slightly Indian style of cooking. It was absolutely beautiful. She introduced us to the drink lassi made with the yogurt. We were becoming quite cosmopolitan in that area of the junction. But what is interesting, Anita and Peter then went on to open one of the best restaurants at Noosaville called Anita's.